Hello students, good afternoon to all of you. I hope you will find at home and I welcome you in this lecture of unit number 5. So we are actually in the completion of the unit number 5. This is the second last topic we can say. So the subject is power system instrumentation. Now we can say the power system instrumentation is what is basically important subjects of power system, and we use a measuring instrument. Which type of measuring instrument we can use for the measurement of quantity in power system? You can say the electrical quantity in power system. So power system instrumentation, if we're talking about, so we are at the unit number 5, and the subject code as per our SGV curriculum, that is WE311, and the topic which we are going to cover is composite error. We covered this topic in the unit 1 also, because this is the errors. So composite error means combination error we have, which type of error we can find. So we are covering again this topic, but with some we can say certain more things we can say. So if I'm talking about the power system instrumentation, though power system instrumentation second we are going on, and if I'm talking about the syllabus content, so first unit deals with the error, different errors we have, then standard deviation, Gaussian curve, how can we make it, and calculation. Then in unit number 2 having the transducer, active, passive, we can say digital, analog, on the basis of transaction, inductive, capacitive, photoconductive, phototransductive, piezoelectric, all these. Then waving, LVDT, RVDT, photovoltaic, piezoelectric crystal, capacitance, we can say for displacement, strain gauges, thermocouple, thermal resistors, RTD, resistance temperature detector, and potential pot, we having Hall effect we having. So many things we can measure with the help of transducer. And transducer is an instrument which basically convert one form of energy to another form. Now in the unit number 5, 3 weeks basically, we have studied about the uh, important things what we have. If I'm talking about the important things, means we studied about the op-amp, use of op-amp, that is operational amplifier IC741. It's 8-pin structure, and in 8-pin we only use the, we can say, uh, we can say what we can say 5 pins, and 3 pins we are not using. So 5 pins we can use for negative voltage, positive voltage, and 2 pins for the inverting and non-inverting inputs, and one pin is for the output. So we can use that op-amp for the basically amplification purpose, like instrumentation amplifier, optical isolation amplifier, optical we can say isolation we have, optocoupler we have, analog multiplier, divider, adder, subtractor, and function generator we can use as an integrator. So we have basically frequency to voltage converter, temperature to current converter, grounding, we can say shielding we have. Okay, then in unit number basically 4, we have studied how can we measure the voltage. Can measure the voltage with the help of analog or digital voltmeter. Analog having the full scale deflection pointer, deflecting torque, and controlling torque. And if I'm talking about the basically what we can say, if I'm talking about the digital, so digital is totally based on electronic component. We can say the solid state components we have. So solid state component we have, and we having basically the analog instruments. Then analog we having the deflection scale, deflecting torque, controlling torque, and we can say uh, the component we use for the gravitation impact. Then we having basically for the measurement of voltage and current. If I want to measure the voltage to loading factor due to the internal resistance of voltmeter and ammeter we have. Then we having the energy meter, special type energy. We having the CRO for the cathode ray oscilloscope for the measurement of voltage, phase angle, frequency, and time. If we having the frequency, though we can say the frequency is inversely proportional to time, and time is inversely proportional to frequency. Is we having the two waves, the difference we can easily calculate. If we having the waveform in horizontal, vertical, then we can easily calculate the voltage, phase, temperature, and frequency with Visar's. Then we having the different type of power. We having three types of power in AC. That is active, reactive, and apparent. So we can measure it with the help of analog and digital energy meters. And analog we having 7 components, in digital we having DMT. storage device is there. And spatial of energy meter, we having the another thing that through this energy meter we can also calculate the tariff, because nowadays we are also calculating the tariff for electronic energy meter nowadays we are using. So they that meter gives you the basically what it gives, it gives you the tariff. Tariff, how can we calculate? By the consumption of energy we can easily calculate the tariff. So I hope you understand all of these about all this thing. Okay, so this is about the unit number 4. Then unit number 5, which we are going through. So in unit number 5, basically we studied about the instrument transformers. Now instrument transformers are the transformer which we use for the measurement purpose. Now one thing I want to tell you, that if I am talking about the high voltage and high current, so voltmeter are not capable, is not capable, voltmeters are not capable, ammeters are not capable, and ammeter is not capable to measure the high rating current, high rated voltage. So for this, we can do, we can step down the voltage level and current level and measure with the help of voltmeter and ammeter. So if we step down the voltage with the help of step down transformer, in that it is known as potential transformer here. And if I'm talking about the current step down, so we use step up transformer, because in step up transformer, V2 is increases and V1 is decreases, I2 is decreases and I1 is increases, and N2 is decreases and N1 decreases. So we use step up construction for C2 capacitor, basically the current transformers, and the for potential transformer we use step down construction. So both for the both cases we having different configurations. For potential transformer we having the step down transformer. For current transformer we having the step up transformer. And if I'm talking about the transformer, then the third transformer we have is basically the CVT, that is capacitive voltage transformer for high voltage up to 230, more than 230 kV. Because in this we use two capacitors and one inductor for the frequency purpose, for wave trap, and for power line carrier communications. So they work very easily with respect to the another PTs and VTs, voltage transformer and potential transformer. So CVT we can use. So what they do, basically we connect uh, we can say the potential transformer or voltage transformer in the parallel, and current transfer in the series as per the voltmeter and we can say meter in the system. So we connect like this. We connect all the system like this. We connect parallel is basically the potential meter and voltmeter, and series is basically the ammeter. Okay, so I hope you understand about this. Then we having the basically different types of instrument transformer. We have different looking, for we use in the current transfer for the breaker, used for the protection also, because we are using for protection measurement both. So we use for the measurement, and for the protection we connect with the basically with the relays, because in relay is just like a sensing device. It's just like a switch. It basically we fix some the value in it. For example, if I'm talking about the, I'm using relay for 25 volt. So I fix 25 it, that is a predetermined value. If the value comes from the measurement comes from the CT, that is current transformer, that value is more than 25, though it trips the circuit breaker, it gives the input to the circuit breaker, and circuit breaker trips the circuit, opens the circuit. So for the protection, we use a, we can say, relay, and relay getting the value from CT and PT, that is current transformer and potential transformer. And we use the CVT also for more than 230 kilowatt. I hope you understand. Now today we are going to study is the another topic, that is composite arrays. Now composite arrays basically is the new topic. Now the objectives why I am delivering this lecture to you, my dear student. So first is the objective to deliver this lecture is have the learner to understand the basics of composite array. Means what are the arrays here? Composite in the form, so we having so many arrays in a way, but how can we deal with so composite arrays? So understand the detailed theory of composite array. So in this lecture, I will tell you about the composite iron. We all are going to understand about the composite irons. Now moving forward, a measurement tells us about a property of something. You can say here is a scale, here will be the stopwatch, here will be weighing scale. So these are all giving you the measurement. Basically, I'm taking examples here. Some images is there to show you that how can we measure the thing. From the first, we can measure the line in a centimeter, in a meter, in a inches. Okay. Through second we can basically estimate the time when we walk, when we do the something, stopwatch we can say. In third, we are basically measure our weight. Weighing scale, we can say the weighing is there, weighing machine is there. So we can measure the weight also in pound, in kilogram, in other things. So I hope you understand. A measurement tells about a property of something. Okay, so it gives you the property of something. Then a measurement gives a number to that property. A measurement gives a number to that property. That measurement gives what? A number to that property we have. Our measurements are always made using an instrument of some kind. So measurements are always made using an instrument of some kind, some different kind or kind we have. The result of measurement is normally in two parts: a number, in a number, and a unit measurement. Example, how is it 2 meters? Basically, how long is it? 2 meters. So that is the reading. So a measurement tells about a property of something. A measurement gives a number to that property, maybe meter, maybe centimeter, or a property. For 2 meters is there, 3 meters is there, 5 meters is there, 9 meters. So measurement are always made using an instrument of some kind. Measurements are always made using an instrument of some kind. Some kind we are using. The result of a measurement is normally in two parts: a number and a unit of measurement. For example, how long is it? It is 2 meters. 2 is the unit and meters is the unit, and 2 is basically a number. So number and unit of measurement. Two things we get always in a measurement. Now, what is error? Error in science does not mean the term of mistake. For example, if I am talking about human beings, so I am making a mistake, but in a science, it does not mean the term of mistake. We say it is an error. So error in a scientific measurement means the difference between the individual result and the true value. So if I am talking about the scientific measurement, the error means the different between individual result and the true value. So true value is 5, but the different which I am getting is 4.8. So 4.8 and true is difference. So that is the error we are getting. Now error cannot be eliminated although the measurement is being done very carefully. So we can't remove or reduce or eliminate the error although the measurement is being done very carefully. If I am doing the measurement very carefully, though I can eliminate, otherwise I can't able to eliminate. Now the total value of error is made up of number of error sources. Now total value of error is made up of a number of error sources we have. The rule of error. Repeated measurement will contribute the discrepancies or random errors, we can say. The discrepancy can only be obtained when there are differences between the readings and the true value. The smaller the random errors, the greater the precision. Now, repeated measurement we have will contribute the discrepancies. If I am the repeated means not same value, we are repeating once again repeating. So repeated measurement will contribute the discrepancy or random errors. Will basically give or contribute the discrepancy or random errors. The discrepancy can only be obtained when there are differences between the readings and the true value. Differences between the reading which we are getting and the true value which we are getting. Okay. The smaller the random errors, the greater the precision. The smaller the random errors we have, the greater the precision we have. The smaller the random errors we have, then the greater the precision we have. Okay. Secondly, if I am talking about if the individual readings are the same, if individual readings are same, there is still an error called uniform error or systematic. If individual readings are same, there is still an error called uniform error or systematic. Okay. Now, random error. If I am talking about the random error, so a component of error of a measurement which in the course of number of measurements of the same measurement varies in an unpredictable way. So a component of the error of measurement which in the course of number of measurements we have a component of the error of the measurement which in the course of number of measurements of the same measurement we have varies in an unpredictable way. I don't know the way. I can't able to predict this thing. So in an unpredictable way. Okay. The mean of a large number of measurement influenced by random errors matches the true value. The mean of a large number of measurement influenced by the random errors matches the true value. Matches the true value we have. It can be evaluated by study the repeated measurement values. We can only evaluate with the help of this study the repeated measurement values. We repeat the measurements one by two, one basically up to 9 times. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So repeated measurement we have. So repeated measurement values we can evaluate by the study of this. Now, systematic error. The exist of the error is known by inference. The exist of the error is known by inference. A component of the error of the measurement, which in the course of a number, you can say a component of the errors of measurement, which in the course of number of measurements of the same measurement remains constant or varies in predictable. Remains constant or varies in a predictable. Now, the mean of the large number of measurements influenced by systematic errors deviate from the true value. The mean of a large number of measurements influenced by systematic errors deviates from the true value. Okay. Now, it can be evaluated by comparing the measurement results with a higher standard, which is measurement. So, the exist of this error is known by inference. We can say it is exist by the source, or we can say the error is known by the inference. A component of the error of measurement, which in the course of a number of measurements of the same measurements remains constant or varies in a predictable. Remain constant or varies in which way? Predictable. The mean of a large number of measurements influenced by systematic errors deviates from the true value. The mean of a large number of measurements influenced by the systematic errors deviates from the true value. Now, it can be evaluated by comparing the measurement results. It can be evaluated by comparing the measurement results with a higher standard, which is known as measurement. Now, sources of measurement error. What are the sources we have? So, dynamic error we have, characterized by frequency and phase response of the system for periodic variation in the measured input. Now, characterized by frequency and phase response of the system for periodic variation in the measured input. In the which input? In the measured input we have. Okay. Now, the loading error. Loading error is basically we having the source of measurement error. We having loading. Loading means I am connecting a circuit. I am connecting a circuit. I am having a circuit. In this, I am having a measuring instrument. So I am giving a loading error. So the capacity of that ammeter is up to 200 ampere, but I am giving more than 200 ampere. So that is the loading. We are having the loading error. Now, what is the difference between the value measured before and after the measurement system is measured? It is the difference between the value measured from and after the measurement system is measured. We can say. Now, static error. It is caused by physical nature of various components of the measuring system. Static error, we can say it is caused by the physical nature of various components of the measuring system we are having. Secondly, we having the characteristic error. So it is the deviation of the measurement under constant environmental condition. Now it is the deviation of measurement under constant environmental conditions from the theoretical predict performance. From the what? From the theoretical predict performance we have. So we having the static error. It is caused by physical nature of various components of the measuring system we have. Characteristic error, if I am talking about, so it is a deviation of measurement under constant environmental conditions from the theoretical predict performance. From what? From the theoretical predict performance I have. Now, elastic deformation. Elastic deformation, we can say elastic. Now it is divided into two. It is divided into, so composite errors, all these errors we have. So it is divided into two. Errors caused from reflection when AND gauge is used for setting or measuring. Errors caused from the reflection when AND gauge is used for setting or measuring. We can use for the setting or measuring purpose. Now, error caused from deflection due to self way of the object. Errors caused from the deflection due to self weight of the object. If I am in the self weight of the object, so it causes the deflection. It causes what? It causes the deflection due to self weight of the object we have. So I hope you understand about this thing. Now the error causes from deflection due to self weight of the object. Now parallax. The word parallax comes from the parallel. So any instrument that using pointer and scale may have parallax error. Any instrument, if I'm talking about PMMC or MI and analog, we can say. So any instrument that using pointer and scale may have parallax error because the gap between pointer and scale is different at any reading angle. They got what? If any instrument that using pointer and scale may have parallax error. They have a parallax error because the gap between pointer and scale is different at any reading. You can say the scale and the pointer and the scale is different at any reading angle we have. Okay. Contact pressure. If I'm talking about the contact pressure, while measuring, the pressure at contact causes some penetration causing errors. While measuring, the pressure at contact causes some penetration causing error in measurement. What they do basically, while measuring, the pressure at contact causes some penetration causing error in measurement. Causing error in measurement we have. So parallax, any instrument that using pointer and scale may have parallax error because the gap between the pointer and the scale is different at any reading scale. Okay, see, if this is pointer like this, so I am viewing like this, so it is on the point scale. So this finger is behaving like a pointer, this behaving a scale. So if I am moving like this, so there will be some angle between this. So we can always having an error. That's known as the parallax error. Second, we are having the contact pressure. So while measuring, the pressure at contact causes some penetration, causing error in the measurement we have. Now backlash. Now backlash is due to backlash in gears and screw threads. Some motion is lost to overcome backlash. Due to backlash in gears, we having and screw threads and a backlash in gears. Some motion is lost to overcome backlash. So that is again error. Hysteretic. It is a source of errors in electrical instrument. Ascending values are observed when decreased current or voltage we have. So it is a source of error in electrical instrument, not in electronic. We can say electrical, generally in electrical. So in electrical instruments, ascending values are observed when decreased current or voltage we have. Okay. Avoidable error. We can say the avoidable error. Now, the error occurred due to non-alignment of workpiece, center, improper of measuring instrument, etc. The error the errors occur due to non-alignment of workpiece, you can say, center, improper of measuring instrument, etc. So this is avoidable error. We can avoid it. The word avoidable come from avoid. So we are having the avoidable error. Now the human error. Now human error is difficult to detect, difficult to identify. It can be include a tendency to read high or low using a wrong instrument. Human error we can say difficult to detect. It can be include a tendency to read high or low using a wrong instrument we have. Human training is the best way to prevent these errors. Human training, we train the human to use the good instrument, calibrated instrument, and while taking the reading to make proper connection, to make basically we having the proper connection and proper vision to identify the reading, to record the reading, to read the reading basically. So this is the human error. So we can difficult to detect. It can be include a tendency to read high or low using a wrong instrument. So we can avoid by the human training. By the process which we use is the human training is the best way to prevent these errors. Okay, I hope you understand. Now error in technique and experimental error. Errors in technique and experimental error we have. If wrong technique is used, example, calibration technique for vernier is used for micrometer. An example is given, calibration technique for vernier is used for micrometer. Education helps to prevent these errors. So if I'm having an education, I know that which type of micrometer or which type of I have to use the instrument, calibrate for the calibration purpose. So this education helps to prevent these errors. Next, we have in the computational error. Next, we have in what? A computational error. Can be random or continuous. Can be random or continuous. But once an error has started, it usually establishes itself. Once an error has started, it usually establishes itself in the computation. Now, this error is affected by environmental fatigue and instrument. This error is affected by the environmental fatigue and instrumentation. Now, chaotic error. Basically, chaotic error, extreme disturbance that ruin or hide the measurement result. Extreme disturbances we having that ruin or hide the instrument results. Disturb this, basically hide the result and basically change or basically ruin. Okay, so ruin or hide the measurement results. These errors include vibration, shock, extreme noise, and etc. These errors include what? Vibration, shock, extreme noise, and etc. Now, uncertainty of measurement. Now, see here. Two persons are doing the measurement, but they having the some uncertainty. Uncertainty we have. Now, what is it? What is uncertainty of measurement? What we can see, what we can have the uncertainty. Now, the certainty we know the fixed value, the uncertainty we see, which is not fixed, we can say. But how we can say the uncertainty of the measurement? We can find how the uncertainty of the measurement we have. So, the uncertainty of a measurement tell us something about its quality. The uncertainty of a measurement tell us something about its quality. So it gives you a detail about its quality. So uncertainty of measurement tells us something about its quality purpose. Quality. So uncertainty of measurement is the doubt that exists about the result of any measurement. So uncertainty of the measurement is basically making your mind disturbed that we are getting the right result or not. We are having a doubt. We are always having a doubt in this. Why we having the doubt in this? Because we think that the reading we are getting is not certain. So uncertainty. So uncertainty of a measurement tell us something about its quality. And uncertainty of a measurement is the doubt that exists about the result of any measurement we have. This type of measurement we have. Okay. Now the error versus uncertainty. We can say we having the thing which we have, that is error versus uncertainty. It is important not to confuse the term error and uncertainty. It is very important to us that not to confuse for the term error and the uncertainty. Error is the difference between the measured value. Error is what? Error is the difference between the measured value and the true value. Error is the difference between the measured value and the true value of the thing being measured. Error is what? Error is the difference between the measured value and the true value of the thing being measured. For example, I am connecting a meter in a circuit and I am getting 10 ampere, but the actual reading is 10.5. So 10 is the measured value and true value is 10.5. So error is the difference. So I am getting zero point 0.5 is a error. So uncertainty is a quantification of the doubt about the measurement result. Uncertainty is the quantification of the doubt about the measurement result. So that is the difference versus I am saying here. Whenever possible, we try to correct for any errors, for any known errors which we know about it. For example, by applying corrections from calibration certificates. Whenever possible, we try to collect for any known errors. For example, by applying corrections from calibration certificates. Okay. So for correct for any errors. For example, by applying corrections from calibration certificates we have. But if I'm talking about the error, but any error whose value we don't know is a source of uncertainty. So it is important to not to confuse the term errors and uncertainty, because we have to not confuse for error for uncertainty. So error is a difference between the measured value and the true value of the thing being measured, of the thing being measured. Okay, so that is the difference between. Then the uncertainty is a quantification of the doubt. Uncertainty is what? Uncertainty is quantification of the doubt about the measurement result. About the what? About the measurement result. If I'm talking about the error again, so error, whenever possible, we try to correct for any errors. We can try. We can make calibration. We can apply correction. We can do the reading again and again. Repeatability is there. Repeat of reading we can do. So, for example, by applying applying corrections for calibration certificates. But any error whose value we don't know is a source of uncertainty. The error whose value we don't know is a source of uncertainty. Is a source of uncertainty we have. Now, I'm repeating again that what is the error we have. So we can say the rule of error. I'm getting the rule of error. So repeated measurement will contribute the discrepancies or random errors. The discrepancy can only be obtained when there are differences between readings and the true value. So the smaller the random errors, the greater the precision. Smaller the random error we have, then we having the greater the precision. Okay. So if the individual readings are the same, if individual readings are the same, there is still an error called uniform error or systematic error. There is still an error called uniform error or systematic error we have. Okay, I hope you understand. Now the random error. Basically, if I'm talking about the composite error, so composite error is a composition of all the errors. We can get the random, we can get the systematic, then we get the static, all the errors, the composite errors we have. So random error, a component of the error of measurement, which in the course of a number of measurements of the same measurement varies in a unpredictable, varies in a unpredictable. We can't able to predict. It is varies in the an unpredictable way. The mean of a large number of measurement influenced by a random errors matches the true value. The mean of a large number of measurement influenced by random errors matches the true value. Matches what? Matches the true value we have. Now it can be evaluated by study the repeated measurement values. It can be evaluated by study the repeated measurement values we have. Okay. After this, we having the systematic error. Now the exist of the error is known by inference. Inference, we can say. The exist of the error is known by the inference, and a component of the error of measurement, which in the course of number of measurements, a component of the error of the measurement, which in the course of number of measurements of the same measurement remains constant or varies in a predictable, constant or varies in a predictable way, we can see. Now, the mean of a large number of measurements influenced by systematic errors, the mean of a large number of measurements influenced by systematic errors deviates from the true value, deviates from the actual value or true value. For example, the 10 is the true value, 10 is the measured value, but actual value is 10.5. So, deviates from the true value. It can be evaluated by comparing the measurement result with the highest, which is measured. So one error is there random. The rule of error we also understand. Then one error is random. So again error we have in systematic error. Okay, it can be evaluated by comparing the measurement results with a higher standard, which is measurement. Then we having the source of measurement. The sources of measurement error what we have. First we having the dynamic error. Changes with respect to time. We can say it is static error. It is dynamic. It changes whenever we make connections. Uh, when we having the experiment, we are making the connections of a circuit, applying the measuring instrument. To dynamic error we have all the time. Now the characterized by frequency and phase response, characterized by the frequency and phase response of the system for periodic variation in the measured input. Characterized by frequency and the phase response of the system for periodic variation in the measured input. In the which input? Measured input, we can say. Second, we having the loading error. The dynamic error is characterized by the frequency and phase response of the system for periodic variation in the measured input. Okay. Now loading error. It is a difference between the value measured before and after the measurement system is measured. Before, we can say between, it is a difference between the value measured before, which I am using the before, and after the measurement system is measured. When we doing the before and after. So the difference between the before and after, we having this basically loading error. So dynamic error is characterized by frequency and phase response, and loading error, it is a difference between the value measured before and after the measurement system is measured. We can see. I hope you understand. Now, static error. If I am talking about the static error, so it is caused by physical nature of various components. First random, then we having C. First we having the random error. So the role of errors we know. Then we having random error. Then we having systematic error. Source is dynamic error, loading error, static error we have. It is caused by physical nature of various components of the measurements. It is caused by the physical nature of various components of the measuring system. Nature of the various components of the measuring system. For example, I am having a measuring system. So by the physical nature of the various components of the measuring system, it is caused by that. So characteristic error, it is the deviation of measurement under constant environmental condition. It is basically the deviation of the measurement under constant environmental conditions from the theoretical predict performance. It is a deviation of measurement under constant environmental condition we have from the theoretical predict performance, from which under the constant environmental conditions from the theoretical predict performance we have. So static error, characteristic error, then we having the dynamic and random dynamic error is there. Okay, dynamic error is there. We having the loading error, then we having the systematic error, we having the random error. So we can go from like this: random, systematic, dynamic, loading error, static error, characteristic error. Elastic deformation. Now it is also a error. It is a part of error also. part of composite error. Composition of error we have in. Though elastic deformation, it is divided into two. Error causes from reflection. Error is causes from reflection when AND gauge is used for setting or measure. When it takes place, error causes from reflection when AND gauge is used for setting or measure. We use for the setting or measure. Error causes from deflection due to self weight of the object. Error caused from the deflection due to self weight of the object we have. Now, parallax. Any instrument that using pointer, any instrument that using what? That using pointer and scale may have parallax error. Any instrument that using pointer and scale may have parallax error because the gap between pointer and scale is different at any reading scale. Any reading scale, so that gives you the parallax error. Any instrument that using pointer and scale, for example, analog measuring instrument we have, analog instruments we have. So in this we are having the full scale deflection, pointer, deflecting torque, controlling torque, all these things. So any instrument that using pointer and scale may have parallax error because the gap between pointer and scale is different at any reading. Because the gap of gap between the pointer and scale is different at any reading angle. We can find it any reading angle. It is different. So we are having this parallax error. Next is the contact pressure. So while measuring the pressure at contact causes some penetration, causing error in measurement. While measuring the pressure at contact causes some penetration, causing error in the measurement. Some penetration causing error in the measurement we have. Now backlash. As I earlier told you, due to backlash in gears and screw threads, some motion is lost to overcome the backlash. So due to backlash in gears and screw threads, we can say some motion is lost to overcome the backlash. That we have in the backlash. So we have to do this. Now hysteretic, or we can say the hysteretic and hysteric, or hysteresis, we can say in another way. So it is a source of errors in the electrical instrument. It is basically a source of error in an instrument. Ascending values are observed when decreased current or voltage. Ascending value we have observed when the decreased current or voltage we have. Now avoidable error. We can avoid it. So the errors occur due to non-alignment of workpiece center, improper of measuring instrument, etc. we have. Okay. So the error occurred due to non-alignment of workpiece center. Workpiece center we have. Improper of measuring instrument we have. Improper measuring instrument we have. So that is known as avoidable error. We can avoid it. Human error. Now human error is difficult to detect. It can be include a tendency to read high or low using a wrong instrument. Difficult to detect. It can be include a tendency to read high or low using a wrong instrument. Human training is the best way to prevent these errors. Now human training is the best way to prevent these errors. How? If a human being is trained, for example, I and you having a training and got a training with how can we use this instrument, first calibrate it, then use and make a proper connection. So that is the best way to prevent these errors. That is a human training. Okay, I hope you understand. Now errors in technique and experimental error. So if wrong technique is used, example calibration technique for vernier is used for micrometer. It is a very different technique we are using. So we are doing a mistake. We are doing a error. So error in technique means wrong technique we are using for wrong process. Wrong technique we are using for right process, and right process there and using wrong technique. And we can also say another way, the process is wrong and we are using right technique. Okay. So technique is wrong but process is right. So education helps to prevent these errors. These means training. If I'm got a training how to measure the thing and which instrument I have to use. So through this we can prevent these errors. Now the computational error. Computational error, we can say we are getting the computational error. The word computational is from the compute. We are compute something. So can be random or continuous, can be the random or continuous. But once an error has started, it usually establish itself. It usually do what? It usually establish itself in the computation. It usually establish itself in the computation. So these errors affected by environmental, fatigue, and instrumentation. So these errors affected by the environmental, fatigue, and instrumentation we have. Chaotic error. It is very interesting. We can say the error. It is due to the extreme disturbances. It is due to the extreme disturbances that ruin or hide, that basically change the reading or hide the measurement result. So extreme disturbances that ruin or hide the measurement results. This error include vibration. This error include what? Vibration, shock, extreme noise, and etc. This error include vibration, shock, extreme noise, and etc. So that comes in the chaotic error we have. This type of error, chaotic error, and this error is due to the extreme disturbances that ruin or hide the measurement results. This error include vibration, shock, extreme noise, and etc. We have uncertainty of measurement. So uncertainty of measurement we can find a person is there. It basically measuring from here and there. So there is an uncertainty. There is what? There is a basically uncertainty we have. So what is uncertainty of measurement? The uncertainty of a measurement tells us something about its quality. It tells you something about its quality. The uncertainty of a measurement tells us something about its quality. What quality it have, this type of quality is to be there, this type of quality is possessing, what type of quality basically they have while measuring on something. So this uncertainty of a measurement tells us something about its quality. Okay, so uncertainty of measurement is the doubt that exists about the result. Uncertainty of the measurement is the doubt that exists about the result of any measurement. That I already took so many readings, but this uncertainty in my mind that all readings are correct or wrong, is correct or not. So that is uncertainty. Now the error versus uncertainty. Now we can say error versus uncertainty. We can also identify that it is important not to confuse the term error and uncertainty. It is important not to confuse that, not to combine error and uncertainty. If uncertainty is different and error is different, we can say. So error is what? Error is the difference between the measured value and the true value. Error is the difference between the measured value and the true value of the thing being measured. The error is basically the difference between the measured value and the true value of the thing being measured. Now the uncertainty is the quantification. Uncertainty is what? Is basically the quantification of the doubt about the measurement. Uncertainty is a quantification of the doubt about the measurement result we have. Describe the measurement result. So uncertainty is a quantification. Whenever possible, we try to correct for any known errors. Whenever possible, we try to correct for any known errors. For example, by applying corrections from calibration certificate. By applying corrections from calibration certificate we have. So whenever possible, we try to correct from any known errors, for any known errors. For example, by applying corrections from calibration certificates. From what? From calibration certificate, we can do this. Now, but any error whose value we do not know is a source of uncertainty. But any error, for example, random, systematic, chaotic, elastic, random, dynamic, so many errors we have. The composite errors we have. So, but any error whose value we don't know is a source of uncertainty. Is a source of what? Uncertainty and unpredictable weakness. So this is all about the lecture. Now these are the some MCQs related to which of the following is caused by the careless handling. So already we know that is random error. We can say a systematic will be error free if remove all systematic error. A system we can say false. Which is standard is fixed and used for industrial laboratories. Standard primary, standard secondary working. So industrial. Which of the following is not a fundamental quantity? Angle, length, time, luminescence. How systematic errors are eliminated? We have option C. If the instrument is used in wrong manner while application, then it will result in errors. We have random errors in a measurement system are due to environmental change, use of unclaimed instrument, poor cabling, unpredictable effects. We can say. Now the error between mean of the finite data set and the mean of the infinite data set is known as standard error. Option C. The undesirable characteristic of a measuring system are, can say, drift. Okay. Now the standard error is a statistical measure of the normal distribution of scores around the sample mean. The extent to which a sample mean is likely to differ from the population mean, the clustering of the scores at which end of the survey scale, the degree to which sample has a equality. So A, you can see option A. I hope you understand. Now, these are the reference books through which you can took some material for understanding, and I also took some material. I also took some material from these good books available in our library. Okay, and you can also refer this book for further learning of this subject of this topic. The first book is GB Gupta. It's basically of Kataria publication and a course in electronics and electrical measurement and instrumentation, and the author is GB Gupta and the publication is Kataria. So this is also a very good book. You can also refer this book. Now, second book is the Electrical Measurements and Measuring Instrument by Rajesh Prasad. Rajesh Prasad. It is a Indian author book of Khanna publisher, having good content in it, and it is a very good book. Is we can say it is a very good book, and you can also refer this book. These are available in our library. And the last book is the A.S. Morris. So A.S. Morris is the uh, author of the book, which title is Principles of Measurement and Instrumentation. So, Principles of Measurement and Instrumentation is a book which is written by E.S. Morris, international author, and the publisher is Prentice Hall. So, J.B. Gupta is also a good book of Kataria publication. Rajan Prasad is also a good book of Khanna publisher, and A.S. Morris is an international author book. So, you can find, you will always find a good content in this book. So you can also refer these books. These are available in our library. So you can just go and read it, and whenever we can, whenever you are able to do so, so go and read this book. So thank you from my side for patience listening this lecture. I hope you understand about the composite error. So the combination of all different types of errors are composite errors. So this is all about basically the types of error we have. So hope you understand about the types, the composite error. And thank you for listening. Thank you for understanding this.